So guys, right now we're with Isaac Haywood with the Haywood Farms out of Newport, Arkansas. We are scanning one of his properties that he had some questions about as far as they have cotton on it now. They had some questions about some cover crop, some difference in height as far as like degree in elevation and things like that. So he wanted to get some as much information as possible as he could. So we came out and we're scanning it now. Pix 4D Fields just had a new update on it, and it's supposed to be able to have a greater degree, and don't quote me on it exactly, but it's supposed to have a greater degree of interpretation of distances between lines. And so we are going to use that information to be able to feed that to the spray drone, so the spray drones have the most accurate information as far as when it puts out chemical, when it is flying, as far as height and obstacles to avoid. Right now, since there's nothing that's planted, this is giving them kind of almost like I think it's almost like draining like a pond or something. You can kind of see what's all at the bottom. You can kind of, map things out, see what's down there, so they can do some cleanup work, and so they can work on things. Anything you can think of, Isaac, that this stuff would help?
Kind of what I was looking for on this scan is, this is the first time that we have flown on cover crop with an airplane before we picked the cotton, instead of running an air drill through it. And I'm wanting to look at the coverage that the plane did. I'm wanting to see outside of the pivot and inside of the irrigated versus non-irrigated.
Right.
And the valleys and the hills, just see what differences we see with all of that going on.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because we've never done that before.
Awesome. So that'll be something that we'll be able to. I'm actually going to He's going to keep his information, but I'm going to pull it. We're both going to run our own different types of scans on it and see what information we can get from it. But we should be able to. I think with what we we did 30. How was it? 32 acres?
Almost 39.
Almost 39 acres, and that is about 16 minutes. We flew that at about 122 feet. That's something that's important that people need to know about, is GSD, is ground sampling distance. That's where we want the drone low enough to where it's going to be able to pull enough detail information so that you can actually make accurate decisions about your plans for the farm and whatnot. That, and take all those pictures and kind of smash them together and give us information for Isaac to look at, so that he can see a few things that he had some questions about. He wanted to see how the cover crop was this past season, that the plane spread, to see how well the cover crop was. He's got some height differences out here, like gradient differences in elevation, peaks and valleys out here. He's also got a pivot out here, and he wants to see kind of irrigation information both inside and outside of the pivot. So just a very quick, simple flyover with this will be able to give us all the information for Isaac, so he can make a lot of decisions that typically would have taken him a very, very long time to figure that stuff out before, but now he can do it. It's 16 minutes for the flight, and then we'll process that probably about an hour or so, and then Isaac can make a lot of decisions in a couple hours that used to would have taken him days, if not longer.
Into one scan, how does that look like when it runs out of battery? Does it come back and I just swap it out? How about like when you turn it on and off, is there a resume?
Okay. It'll go right back to the same thing. You won't notice a battery swap nowhere.
Okay.
It'll
have to reload the flight plan.
Nope.
Okay.
It'll know exactly what it's doing. It'll turn right back on. You hit resume mission, it pops right back up, goes right back to where it stops and goes. So, okay. I mean, I've scanned 800 acres straight before.
Okay.
And it saved everything all in one fell swoop.
So mostly everything's on the controller more than the drone.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. As long as you set, that's the biggest thing, and like I've always harped on, once you set this stuff up right, the easy part is right now. The hardest part is the setup and the prep. Easy part is this. So I think we're done.
So what about when that eagle or a hawk gets after it? Have you had that happen?
So if that ever does happen and you're gonna have that, with your left thumbstick, Isaac, push straight up.
Yeah.
Because birds can't fly up. You know, they have
Yeah,
to use
yeah.
that. So with that, when you fly straight up, it won't be able to get to you.
I just saw one flying there. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. Cool thing about that is it's also going to compensate. I want to show you something it's doing here too. So it's flying to the middle of the field to give you an oblique. So it just flew
Yeah,
to
I
the
see
middle
it.
of the field to give you an oblique on both sides. That way you just didn't get straight down the whole time.
Okay.
At the very end of the mission, it flew to the middle of the field to give you oblique settings. So that way it gives you more of the 3D, and now it sounds like we might be getting in the 4D perspective. So
Yeah, yeah. Here it comes. We're gonna land it.
we'll land, make sure we don't hit it any. Yeah. I just want to make sure we weren't going to hit any stocks or anything.